Bottled and bond whiskey is all the rage these days, but what does the category really mean? Let's dive into 7 great bottled and bond products and find out. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Hutch, and thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the world of whiskey. So today we're talking all things bottled in bond. So let's just wind the clocks back to 1897 real quick. We're in pre-Prohibition America. And the spirits world is basically the wild, wild west. Anything goes and some crazy stuff is happening. In order to simulate aged spirits, people are gaming the system to make a buck, and they are putting into barrels all kinds of liquids and things that just should not be in there and passing them off as whiskey. Some things on that list include tobacco spit, food coloring and food dye, black tea of some sort. All these crazy things are going into barrels and being passed off as whiskey. And of course, that leads to lots of problems for just good distilleries that are trying to make a good product, and it's leading to lots of mistrust in the market. And then the United States government also has a problem with some dangerous stuff going in there that could hurt consumers. So, in 1897, we have the passage of the Bottled in Bond Act, which creates a whole new level of certification and approval for a certain type of whiskey. 3 things have to be true in order to have a bottled in bond product. First of all, it has to be distilled all in one distilling season by one single distiller. The distilling seasons basically break down into 2 throughout the year. You've got January to June and July to December. So if you're in one of those 6-month windows at one distillery, you're in good shape. Second thing that has to be true is that you are aged at least 4 years in a US bonded warehouse. That applies to most warehouses today, so in the modern world, aged 4 years. And then last but not least, it has to be bottled at 100 proof or 50% alcohol. You do all 3 of those things and you've got a bottled in bond whiskey on your hands, which is a great thing. It adds lots of trust and value back to the marketplace, keeps dangerous things from happening, and allows the whiskey market to continue to grow until Prohibition comes along. Today we've got much better standards in the whiskey world and much better marketplace where people aren't really trying to scam us out of a buck, although you could argue that with a lot of these $60 new releases that are less than 4 years old. But when you see something that's bottled in bond, you know that it's 4 years old, you know that it's 100 proof, and you know that you're getting a pretty solid product overall, and nobody's trying to pull a fast one on you. All that being said, that little history lesson done, let's talk about 7 bottled in bond products that I particularly find really great. These can be older than 4 years old, by the way, but all of these, they meet those standards and they are quality whiskeys. So let's start out with the cheapest on the list and one of the most accessible. That's going to be Jack Daniel's Bottled in Bond Tennessee Whiskey. This product is a new release from Jack Daniel's, came out in 2022. It is really, really solid stuff. It has that nice banana brown sugar note on it that I get a lot on great Jack Daniel's products. I think it's just quintessential, and if you're going to try something from Jack Daniel's, this is often where I recommend people start. All right, next on the list is another pretty much brand new release that has just wowed me since I opened it up, and that is the Bardstown Bourbon Company Bottled in Bond Wheated product. This one actually has an age statement of 6 years old, so you're over that 4-year-old mark. Still 100 proof, like all bottled in bond products. Man, is this stuff good. It's got this like black cherry jam quality, some pastry notes. Really nice wheated product overall. Available for around $50, which is great for a modern release at 6 years old. Forgot to mention this Jack Daniel's, I believe, is somewhere around the $30 mark, so pretty cheap as well. And both of these should be more readily available across the country as time goes on, so really think these are great staples, especially in that pretty affordable category for bottled in bond products. Next, we have a bottle that can be a little bit harder to find depending on your area, but I think is a great representation of a distillery having a bottled in bond designation on one of their bottles, and that is Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond. Now this is a 7-year-old product, and again, I think this is just quintessential Heaven Hill. It really gives you a great sense of their profile. It is full of brown sugars, nice sweet vanilla, some cherry notes. and it's really opened up well over time. And I think that little bit of extra age, the 7 years, just takes this from a very solid product to like a very good product. And I would highly recommend trying to go out and get one if you can see it in your area. Price-wise on this, we're looking at something I believe in the like $50 range, though you could see this marked up if it's less available in your area. Next is a bottle that most people don't really think about bottled in bond when they think about this product, but it is one, and man is it good, and that is E.H. Taylor Small Batch, again, which is a bottled in bond product from Buffalo Trace, which everybody's always hunting. Price on this one, again, right around $45 if you get it at the distillery and at MSRP, often going to be marked up more than that. Age on this, I'm not sure, but I've heard more in that 6 to 7 year old range, which is really nice. This one's got that nice, sweet Buffalo Trace profile, lots of cherry, some grape, good vanilla and caramel. Really, really solid and well sought after for a reason. All right, next on the list is actually what I've been sipping on tonight. Really, really nice product, and I actually believe everything from this distillery is a bottled in bond product, and that is New Riff 6-year-old malted rye. So on the back here it says our 100% malted rye whiskey is bottled in bond without chill filtration, exceeding the world's highest quality standard for spirits set in the 1897 Bottled in Bond Act. So they're proud of their products all being bottled in bond, which is a great achievement for a distillery that hasn't been around that long. And man, I think the sweetness on this malted rye is very unique and special. And this one is a little bit more limited for around $60, but with a little bit of looking in most areas, you can probably hunt one down. It's a great one to add to your shelves if you can. All right, the last two we have on this list are, again, a little bit more limited, a little bit harder to find, but I think both great representations of bottled in bond and the variations you can get. So first off, we've got 1792 bottled in bond. This is the one with the yellow strip at the top. Of all the 1792 products that I've tried of their regular lineup, I think this is my favorite. It's got a nice coffee and espresso note, darker notes than the regular small batch. I just think adding that like extra 7 proof points over the small batch really gives it more complexity and depth, so really enjoy this one. And then last but not least is a more limited release from a distillery that I really enjoy, and I actually think these might be their best releases every year, and that is Redwood Empire's Rocket Top Rye, which they also have the Grizzly Beast, which I haven't been able to taste, but this bottled in bond rye is delicious. It's actually very much akin to this 6-year malted rye from New Riff. It's got such a great sweetness that is like candy canes, some peppermint, really hits you with its sweetness and is not shy about it, but a nice balanced and great mouthfeel on this as well. The reason I flagged this as one of their best releases is just that I have had the Lost Monarch cast strength, and I've heard that other cast strength offerings from them are better. Those are new releases, and it just isn't my favorite. I would much rather spend my money on the bottled in bond release, which is just really, really good. And I know that the age here is 5 years at least, so really solid product. And I'm going to be looking certainly for the next bottled in bond batches to come out, both Grizzly Beast and Rocket Top Rye from Redwood Empire. All right, everybody, that is my full list. 7 great bottled in bond whiskeys that kind of run the gamut of the different options. You can see how this bottled in bond regulation adds a high level, a great standard, a floor that you have to at least meet to meet this designation, but there is a heck of a lot of variation that you can do with it. And I think it's just a testament to the fact that back in 1897, it was a pivotal moment in the history of whiskey to up the standards. It's still one of the highest standards that you can meet in whiskey today. I'm just glad that in a market that is getting a little bit crazier with all these new distilleries popping up, we still can rely on bottled in bond to let us know we're getting a pretty solid product. Okay, everybody, let me know. Let me know what you think of the list. Let me know what your favorite bottled in bond whiskey is. If I'm missing any and you want me to taste them, let me know in the comments below, and I might be able to track those down and review them for you all. But again, want to hear your thoughts on sort of the whole bottled in bond designation and what it means to you as a consumer. until I see you guys again for another video, all I can say is keep drinking good whiskey and cheers.